dad's dream to talk about his favorite team with the son of digging the stats. Come and join us, nerding on the Dbacks.
Hello, welcome to Nerding on the Dbacks.
Yes, the best
And only
father-son baseball show.
in America.
Yeah, they don't got this in Peru. Have we used Peru? I think we used Peru. Argentina.
Canada. Argentina.
Yeah, let's roll with Argentina. Argentina's having a massive comeback. I love it.
Hi.
I hope they play baseball there.
Hi.
I'd love to see them in the WBC next time around.
Hi, my name is Steve Harvey, also known as Phoenix/Son.
Oh, yeah. I'm Dad/Chris.
No, you're not.
And please, since you're here, like, comment, subscribe, rate, review, and of course, channel that into kindergartner.
And share.
Yes. Sharing is caring, people. And if you care, you'll share.
Caring is sharing.
Yeah, so typically, if you're joining us for the first time, rather than discuss individual games or series, we prefer generally to look at the big picture, and we focus more on performance than production. And we always start off with a little, hey, how about that cross-country meet?
It was good. It hurt a lot.
Yeah, you looked like you were struggling a little bit out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna happen. I think we figured some stuff out though to make it a little easier
But
going forward.
You know what's crazy? When we were at the meet, I saw this spider, and it went up to Limerick, and it bit his hand, and he slapped it, and he started crying, but then he got mad at me, and he went like this, and he zipped my mouth, and my mouth, like, I can talk for like 2 hours. I had to keep like pulling.
He became a part spider, is what you're saying.
He became a spider baby.
Yeah. So Phoenix's younger son, Limerick,
My younger son.
his younger brother. That's a funny
There you
thing to
go.
say. It's weird.
That's a weird one.
My younger son, Limerick, he got a Spider-Man costume from one of Phoenix's friends yesterday afternoon, Saturday, about noon, and he put it on, and he took it off once to go swimming with me Saturday evening because Phoenix and his mom were out for the evening, so me and Limerick were home alone, and we went swimming, and then he slept in it, which this was the funniest thing. When I woke up in the morning, he was all snuggled up in his blanket, and I opened the door and I go, why are you under the blanket? And he says, I'm cold. And I'm like, why? And he says, because I peed my whole costume. And it's so funny. No, he did not pee at all, but he sweat the entire night. The entire bed was just a giant sweat stain. And he was cold from all the sweat and with the AC on, and so he wanted to be under the blanket to try to stay warm. It's so cute.
I did not know about this.
Yeah, it was. He stayed out dressed as Spider-Man. We went to the park today. He was swinging around. The other crazy part when we went to the park is there's actually this crazy bright yellow spider right next to him, just like swinging around on the playground. It was weird. I guess it was a crab spider. Pretty sure they're poisonous based on the color of bright yellow. So anyway, and then you got football starting this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start playing games anyway. Of course, you've been practicing for a while, but you've got games actually starting this week, which is awesome. And then for those who have been wondering, if you recall, I had knee surgery back in February, and it's been getting a lot better. I started doing the gym about a month ago now, a little over a month ago, and I definitely noticed a difference.
The same.
I look exactly the same. Oh yeah, that part's probably true, but my knee feels a lot better. Yep. Yeah. So, feeling a lot better, and
Looking a lot better.
oh, that was a 180 there from you. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Fist bump.
You know what we're probably going to have to do? We should record a video of us doing our handshake and throw it up like during the intro of the song. The intro song is just a intro video instead of showing our logo, just having us do our shake. I think it would be fun.
That would be fun.
All right. Let's get on to the D-backs. They had a pretty tough week here with they versus some playoff quality opponents. I say playoff quality opponents because they played the Mets, who are, I think, in the third wild card spot or maybe a game out of the wild card spot at this point. And then the Dodgers, who, of course, were chasing in the West. They went 2-4 against those two. And as a part of that, we are going to discuss who has been hot and who has been not. And that's this guy right here. Sun/Phoenix. He's going to tell us all about it. Let's kick it off.
I said it's getting hot in here.
All right. So who's been hot? You know, people listen to this just audio as well.
Oh.
We can't have that much dead time.
Well, maybe I could just describe what I'm doing.
You have a poop eating grin.
Constipated face shaking, nodding head.
Okay.
Okay, so for the pitchers who are hot and beautiful.
I thought this was I'm not sure how you got this, but I'm a little curious where you're going with this. Some of these guys I don't even recognize.
You don't recognize?
Who is? Oh, okay. This is one I wasn't quite sure. Nelson's not a relief pitcher.
Yes, they said he was.
No,
Yeah.
he started games. He frankly should be their hot pitcher. We'll just go with it. Go with Nelson for the hot pitcher to start.
Okay, so for the hot starting pitcher, it's Ryan Nelson. He has 6.1 innings pitched, 2 runs, all earned, 4 strikeouts, and 2 home runs.
Yeah, not a great showing. Who was your alternative that you were trying to decide with?
Brandon Pfaadt.
Brandon Pfaadt, and how did he pitch?
He had 10.1 innings pitched, 11 runs, 9 earned.
Which is brutal.
16 strikeouts. That's what got me. But
Yeah, that is a ton of strikeouts for 10 innings, 10 and a third innings.
Yeah, 3 walks and 1 home run.
Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. If you, again, this seems to come up with Brandon Pfaadt a lot, that we get to the end of the week and I feel like I'm constantly saying, yeah, if you had told me that he threw 6 innings or 10 innings or 12 innings and he struck out 14, walked 2 and gave up a home run, I'd be like, sweet week. And then he's got 10, 11 runs given up. It's just so bizarre. Something is very unusual about the way that he pitches. I'm not quite sure what it is, but he overshoots his expected numbers by so much as a pitcher. It's very strange. His expected numbers make you think that he should be a Cy Young candidate, and his real actual numbers look like he's a borderline 4th starter. Like, it's so bizarre.
Okay.
So yeah, and then we don't have it. I'm just gonna throw out there. We don't have him listed on here, but I already know AJ Puck definitely is the hot
Yeah.
relief pitcher. He had a killer week, as always. So
We don't know his stats.
yeah, we don't have it right off the top of our head, but
They said Ryan Nelson was a relief
yeah,
pitcher.
but you know better than that, don't you?
Ryan Thompson and Ryan Nelson are the exact same name.
They're not even they're sort of similar.
Sort of similar.
It's like
That's like saying Chris and Chris.
no,
One's with a K and one's with a C.
No,
You're like, they're not
it's
similar.
Ryan and Ryan, and one is Thompson and one is Nelson.
Ryan and Ryan.
Okay.
God. For the hitters, we have Corbin Carroll, who will You done?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
No? Keep
Okay.
going.
Tell us about Corbin Carroll and his monster week.
He will come back up in this pod. But Corbin Carroll, his OPS is 1.510. He has 23 plate appearances.
Yeah.
He has one double. This is not fake. 5 home runs.
He hit 5 home runs in the last
And
6 games.
And one was an inside the park.
Yes. If you didn't see that inside the park home run, that was a true, legit
If you didn't see
inside the park home run.
If you didn't see it, put us on pause. Go to your TV. Your
No, don't do that. Just hit it
Go
up
to-
when you get home.
go to your Apple Watch, your radio, your the library, just somewhere where there's something that you can watch the Dbacks on, and go and look at it.
Yeah. All right. Welcome
And then
back.
when you come back,
Oh.
you like, comment, subscribe, and channel your inner kindergartner and
Share.
okay. If you didn't see that, it's okay. So, like I was saying,
Okay. Yeah, pick it up with
Corbin
the walks.
Carroll has 2 walks, 8 runs, 11 RBIs, and then 1 solo base.
Yeah, he was solo base.
Woo!
Not one when we needed it, but he stole a base. So, yeah, good
Yeah.
job, Corbin. I mean, you seem back. It's just what we're gonna say. You seem back. Yeah. Yep. August was your month for sure.
Yep.
You had a sick month.
So for the next hitter, it's my guy. It's the hair, the purple hair, the beautiful hair. Lourdes Gurriel.
The pineapple.
Woo!
Lotus, that's our boy.
Yeah. Like I was saying, Lourdes, his OPS is .979. If we rounded that up, it technically be 1 dot. But 21 plate appearances, 2 doubles, 2 doubles, zero triples. But he probably had 1, but they just forgot to add it. He has 2 home runs. 2 home runs.
2.
Yeah. Not us.
Well timed as well.
Yeah, they were so great. He has 4 walks. And this is Lourdes.
4 walks is a lot. He has been taking more patient at bats the last few weeks. It's been impressive.
Yeah, he
It's
is
unusual for him.
Yeah, he is impressive. So he has 6 runs. Probably more, but they forgot to count. 4 RBIs. 0 stolen bases. I think they missed like 5. Pretty sure he stole home one time, and he got it. And then he looked up at Smalls, and they gave each other a thumbs up. And then Smalls talked about.
I think you're thinking of The Sandlot.
Wait, why would I be thinking of The Sandlot?
I don't know, because it's baseball.
Oh yeah, I guess there's.
There was Dodgers jerseys involved in that scene. Oh, yeah, you just barked up the wrong tree, son.
Suck it, Shohei.
All right, so we know Lourdes had a great week. Good
Oh.
job, all you hot boys. Keep it up.
Yeah,
Now, who
especially
did not?
Lourdes.
Who did not help us?
Well,
Wait. All right. Who are our ice babies?
just one more time. One more time for the ladies in the back. Come on, run it back.
No. Let's go.
Okay. So for the starting pitcher, I put Merrill Kelly
Yes.
as the
Well deserved, unfortunately.
horrible. I mean, he's okay, but
That start was.
yeah, it was horrible. But we still love him. He has 5.1 innings pitched. Horrible. 6 runs, 4 of them earned. Horrible. 1 strikeout,
Yeah. that's
1
concerning.
walk,
That part's not concerning.
3 home runs.
That part's concerning too. Kelly has been rough since he has come back. He has not looked. He is missing his spots so bad.
1 strikeout. Really?
Yeah.
1 strikeout. That's all you could give us. Not even
Yeah.
a measly 2 strikeouts.
Yeah, he is very wild right now, and I mean, with the way he has pitched, I think if he continues to pitch like this for the rest of the season, I have a strong feeling he can bring it around. But if he's going to be pitching like this for the rest of the season, there's a lot of reason to completely leave him out of the starting rotation for the playoffs. 'Cause
Weird.
That's tough.
Weird face shaking no.
Yeah, weird face shaking no with a duck bill mouth. Yep. All right, so let's go on to who's our relief pitcher, our cold relief pitcher of the week, our ice RP,
Ryan Thompson.
Ryan Thompson.
Ryan Thompson. He has 3 innings pitched, 2 runs, all earned, 3 strikeouts. I mean, it's better than Merrill Kelly.
Yeah,
0 walks,
good job.
0 home runs.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, that's not a bad week by any means. It's just the bullpen in general has been pretty good. You could have, you probably could have put a variety of guys on here. They've all been equally okay, with the exception of Ginkle and Puck this past week. Martinez has been pretty good too. It's hard to fault him with much.
Yeah. And for the hitters, this was the only guy who had a OPS below 500. And his name, the redhead, not Puck.
Yep.
Man, shut the Puck up.
Well played. Okay. Tell the people who's the cold hitter.
Pavin Smith,
Yeah.
his OPS is .286.
Yeah. He only had
5 plate appearances.
Yeah,
That's
he only
a
had
lot.
He only had 5 plate appearances.
That's a lot.
It's tough to hold it against him. In general, you're right. The team's offense has been pretty good. I don't know who else. We probably, yeah. All in all, the pitching has really been the problem.
Yeah.
That's really been it, and it's not even
Yeah.
been the pitching so much as just the starting pitching has been mostly the problem.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, which is kind of crazy considering where you'd think we would be. So that's it for your who's hot and who's not.
Give it up for me.
Yeah, good job, Phoenix.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things I wanted to mention. I thought this was a really interesting. For those of you who don't follow, there's a writer named Sam Miller.
Oh, I know
And-
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name's Sam Miller.
Yeah, he has a Substack called Pebble Hunting, and yep,
Yeah, I
and
know that.
he writes all about baseball.
Well, of course he does.
And he had on his show, not on his show.
On his
I do think
book.
he talked about it on a podcast, but he had it in his Substack. I guess I don't know what else to call it. His email a few weeks ago, a study that he kind of uncovered about how overly successful teams are when they steal second on first and third situations. The success rate is like 90-something%. I think it's like 94% or 95%, something like that. I forget exactly the numbers, but it's absolutely ridiculous. It's getting so much so that teams aren't even throwing down a second. And I bring this up because in the third game against the Mets, the Dbacks had a situation late when it was tied at 2, I think in the 8th inning, that
Lourdes Gurriel.
Carroll hit a slow grounder to first. This part was weird. he hit a slow grounder to second base, and Eugenio Suarez was on first base. He turns, the fielder fields the ball, he turns, the second baseman fields it, turns, and throws it to shortstop who's covering second. And he airmails the guy covering second base. Okay. And it goes out into left field. Suarez runs to third on the play, but Carroll stays at first base. It's very strange. I don't know why he stayed at first base. If Suarez can make it to third, I don't know why Carroll couldn't make it to second. Really weird. This is weird to criticize Carroll's base running because I think he's been the most valuable base runner in baseball so far this season.
Inside the park home run.
Yeah. But then, so now he's on base. They have first and third. Mm-hmm. And Carroll doesn't try to ever steal second base in that situation. He never takes off from first, even though the success rate in Major League Baseball this season is close to 95% on that situation. And with Carroll being the guy who's stealing second, there's almost no chance that they're even going to throw that ball down to second base. And what ends up happening, because he doesn't steal, they hit into a double play and they never score the run from third. Corbin Carroll, Jake McCarthy hits into a double play. So I just think wanted to give you guys some idea of what that situation was. I bring it up just because it's been such an unusually successful play in Major League Baseball this season, and that the D-backs did not take advantage of it in that situation is so weird, especially with some of the other guys who were running in that series and even in that same game, that they didn't send Carroll in that situation, or Carroll just didn't go. Like, I don't know why he wouldn't just go in that situation. I know Peterson's got a good pickoff move, but you don't even have to get a good jump in that situation. You just go. And if you're out,
they were thinking
you're out.
that Jake McCarthy was going to hit one.
I understand, but I don't know. I just don't like that. I did not like that decision as I was watching it, and it turned out to be, I didn't expect a double play by any means, and it turned out to be the worst outcome that could have possibly happened. And so you could have tried to steal second. Even if you get thrown out, you still have Jake McCarthy at the plate with Suarez on third base. The situation just doesn't change that much when all you need is one run. That's all that matters, is that one run. Staying out of that double play is huge in that situation.
And you could do like Corbin steals and the catcher throws it, and then Eugenio.
He could. I wouldn't risk that, but yes, I know what you mean. Yeah, it's tough, and so I just don't understand why they didn't go. So just little moves like that were kind of strange to me. I thought there's been something else that I've kind of noticed as a trend over the season with Lovallo, and I'm sure it's not just Torrey. It's got to be Hazen and his group in the front office. But I've noticed, for those of you who don't know, I'm originally from Minnesota, and so I do follow. I know. I do kind of, I pay closer attention to the Twins than any of the other 29 teams that are not the D-backs. And one thing I noticed that the Twins do a lot of is they will, I'm sure their front office must have, and by their front office, I just mean somebody up in the suite, some geniuses who understand how to code and put together really good algorithms for baseball that come out to meaningful and actionable results. They're creating some sort of rolling expected performance based on how they've been hitting the ball, what pitches they've been seeing, what pitches they're swinging at, and how they're making contact. And they're creating this comprehensive algorithm, and it's accounting for and weighting the most recent at-bats versus the at-bats in the past. And what they'll do is they are constantly shifting who is where in the lineup. It's just going all up and down, just like everybody's moving constantly over time, like as they are hitting better and better and worse and worse. And I've noticed that Torrey doesn't really do any of that stuff here. He's pretty much like Suarez. When he was going really poorly at the beginning of the season, he was batting 5th and 6th. And then when he started going really well, he was batting 7th. because he was batting worse earlier. And now he bats 6th or 7th, which is about right for what he is. But it's just interesting. Carroll got moved down versus lefties to put Domo at the leadoff spot versus lefties, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. And just ride, like Carroll's been hot. Ride Carroll. Keep him at the leadoff spot for the time being. I just don't quite understand why he doesn't, why there's not more. That said, unlike the base running thing, where that's just a silly oversight that you got to take advantage of, lineup construction doesn't matter that much. So this is just kind of like old man yelling at clouds kind of thing.
Okay.
Yep. But I just think it's something worth discussing. I don't know if the D-backs, my guess is the D-backs front office, and this might be because Torrey doesn't want to do this, but the D-backs front office is not having people put together these kind of algorithms of a rolling performance graph for each hitter and moving them up and down accordingly. I don't know if it's a front office initiative or a managerial initiative from Torrey or lack of initiative from Torrey that's not going on. But it is kind of interesting to see how different teams approach things. Torrey just rides it out. Probably to his detriment. I do think there should be a little more movement in the lineup based on who's performing well and who's not. But it's not going to kill you at the same time if you're not doing that.
Yeah.
Lineup construction is very overrated. It's fun to discuss, though, which is why we're bringing it up.
Yeah.
Now, we thought we'd do something a little different here to recap the month of August. I'd love to get your guys' feedback on what you think. Here, we are going to have a draft of the best performers for the D-backs.
And if you want to join in, just comment your draft.
of the best performers, yeah.
Yeah.
And or tell us which one you think of us got the better draft. And so we're going to draft 2 starting pitchers.
It's gonna be May.
We're going to draft 2 starting pitchers. How many relief pitchers?
2.
Yep, and how many non-pitchers, aka hitters, are we going to draft?
Like 45, 60. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's gonna be 4.
Yeah, and we're just taking the performance for the month of August, and that's it. That's all we're judging this on is who are the best performers in the month of August
Because
for the team.
If it was for the year, it would be Christian Walker all the way.
It would be.
So
I mean, obviously, it would be Marte.
maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I have a level 1.
Don't maybe me.
I have a level 1 coin.
Yeah.
It's
For those
very
of you
cool.
who are local, level 1, you're fun.
It's
Just flip it.
It's no cash
And
value.
I'll call it while it's in the air.
Okay.
Heads.
That was not in the air. Okay, this is head, right?
Yes, that's sure. Yeah, that's heads.
Okay.
Is it heads?
Yes.
Okay. Oh,
It's tails actually. So I get first pick.
okay.
Well, can you just draft anybody?
I feel like that was some skullduggery right there.
Can we just draft anybody?
Shenanigans. I'm claiming shenanigans.
Do we have to draft like the starting pitchers?
No, just draft anybody.
Corbin Carroll.
Yeah, Corbin Carroll's the right answer for the first pick.
Corbin Carroll.
We were discussing that ahead of time.
Corbin Carroll has been great.
I mean, he's been absolutely outrageous. Tell him why you took Corbin Carroll for your first.
Well, I took him because he was on the freaking hot list. I mean, he was literally on the hot list.
He was on the hot list.
Like you can't beat the hot list. Because
but
I made it.
but what
And-
about Corbin Carroll? Tell him a little bit about what Corbin Carroll did this month
Well,
or last month.
he turned himself around to like really.
He had a 1.42
That was
OPS.
yes, and he just like he went from like hitting like a 0.104 OPS to now where he's like
A .104. He was at like 550 for a long time into the season.
Yeah, and now he's at 1.5.
I think he's around like a
1,
7.
2.
Yeah, I think on the season now he's around like a 730, 735, somewhere around there.
And
It's an incredible
yeah,
turnaround.
and he had freaking 5 home runs. That is crazy.
Yeah, he actually in the month of August. No,
Oh.
in the whole month of August. We're not just talking this past week.
Well, yeah.
How many home runs did he hit?
I'm pretty sure he hit 6.
How many home runs did he hit?
I'm pretty sure he hit 6. Nah, I'm just kidding. He hit 11.
That's right. He hit 11. Yeah, he led the team in runs, tied for second in RBI. It's kind of crazy. He barely had any steals.
He's been great, though.
He has been great. It's been awesome. His defense has still been. It was kind of weird. I remember we were watching I think it was the Mets game, and there was a hit out to Corbin Carroll in right field, and we were watching the Mets broadcast at the time, and the Mets broadcaster goes, "Ball's hit out to Carroll. There's going to be a play at the plate. You got to be careful. Carroll's got a cannon." And I'm just like,
No.
did you even look at Baseball Savant before you commented on this game? Like, oh my goodness.
He's got a cannon.
Yeah, he's got no cannon. He's a very below average thrower from the outfield.
It's like saying.
But you know what?
Pavin Smith has been great all year.
But he makes up for it with he does get to a lot of balls. He does a really good job catching the ball, like getting to a lot of balls because of his speed.
That's like saying Josh Bell is fast.
Yeah,
He's
that is
not.
actually kind of similar. It's a good equivalent. Yeah, so very good.
Watch out, Josh Bell's a Steeler.
I love it. So good number 1 pick, obvious first pick. Things get a little different after this, but I am going to draft AJ Puck with my first
You
pick.
mother pucker.
Yep. AJ Puck has a .77 FIP. And here's the coolest part. In a small sample, he has a .77 ERA in the month of August. He's been absolutely outrageous. He had 11 innings, 11 and 2/3 innings pitched. And he had a total of 17 strikeouts in that time. 2, only 1 walk. 1 walk. 1 walk. And no home runs given up. The dude has just been absolutely elite out of the bullpen. He's been the best reliever since the time he put on a Dbacks. I know I had commented a long time ago in April that Justin Martinez, I think, is probably already the best reliever in the Dbacks bullpen. And that was before they had AJ Puck. I now think AJ Puck is the best reliever that the D-backs have in their bullpen. But they didn't have Puck when I made that proclamation. So I feel like I was right still, because Martinez has been absolutely outrageous too. So good. But Puck is on another level.
Yeah.
So, all right, who's going to be your second pick in the draft there,
Well,
Phoenix?
You kind of just said him. It's going to be Super Mart. He's been on the hot list a lot. Not this time, but the previous times he's been on the hot list a lot, and he has a lot of strikeouts, which I love. He does have also some high walks, but but he keeps the strikeouts higher than the walks.
No, he was striking out. I mean, I don't know exactly how many strikeouts he had. I'm almost certain it's up over 24 strikeouts in 14 and a third innings pitched. That's ridiculous. That's the most. Yeah. He had the highest strikeouts per 9.
Yeah, he has just been
On the
great
team.
all year.
Yeah, all year long. Yeah, I love it. That's a good pick for August. I really dig that. All right, so my second pick. I'm gonna stay with the pitchers, which is weird because I don't feel like for the most part the pitchers had that good of a month, but at least the starting pitchers. But I'm gonna go with the one starting pitcher who had a great month, and that is Ryan Nelson. Ryan Nelson.
Wait, which one?
Ryan Nelson. He put up a 3.13 ERA with a 3.62 FIP to match and a 3.10 xFIP to match. For those who aren't sure what xFIP is versus FIP, xFIP takes the average home run to fly ball rate and just gives you what your FIP would be if your fly balls went out of the park at a normalized league average rate, which a lot because they call home run to fly ball rate noisy. It's a noisy stat. There's a lot of noise in it, and so it takes a long time for home run to fly ball rate to what they call stabilize, where it actually, that's probably the true talent level. And so xFIP is usually a little bit more predictive over a short sample size, like a month long. And so that xFIP is super impressive. And, if I can't imagine if the D-backs were, if everybody pitches kind of the way they have been for the last, we'll just say like 3 months. I don't know how you keep Ryan Nelson out of your top 3 for when the playoffs come along to be a starting pitcher. He's just been everything you could ask for. He's been the most stable pitcher for the last 3 months of the season for the D-backs. I believe he leads the team in innings pitched. I don't think ERA. I think he's second in ERA, but first in FIP for the last 3 months. It's been impressive. So I love Ryan Nelson. I'm taking him as my first starting pitcher.
All right. I'm also going to pick a starting pitcher, and I'm going to pick Brandon Pfaadt. He's also been on my hot list in the month of August a lot.
He has been the quintessential unlucky. I'm not sure if it's unlucky or just he leaves too many hittable pitches over the plate.
Yeah, but he does have a lot of strikeouts.
He has a good strikeout rate. He absolutely does. And but he has an ERA over 6. I know this is where we talk about it all the time, right? About performance over production.
Yeah.
And Pfaadt is I like this pick. Pfaadt is a perfect example of performance over production here, and that you're taking him at second because he's been really fantastic, except for something screwy goes on. I mean, he just has he has a 381 BABIP, which is like 100 points higher than what the average BABIP is in Major League Baseball, or maybe 90 points higher. That's unreal. That's unsustainable. And so I like that pick a lot because his performance was good.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna get on the hitter train finally because I don't have any hitters in my draft yet, and so I am going to draft Jock, big rock Jock. And so Jock led the team for all hitters with at least basically everybody not named Ketel Marte, who only had 42 plate appearances in the month. Jock was the highest OPS on the team. And he has just been a stabilizer in the middle of that lineup. He's hitting home runs. He looks like he's having a ton of fun. He's all getting the team all fired up. He's got some he's got the greatest facial expressions in baseball. He's so much fun to watch. I love having that guy. And his month of August, he had kind of a slow July, and seeing him just ball out again in August has been awesome. So my first hitter is Jock Peterson.
Okay. I'm going to... Well, you also just said my other pick. I'm going to pick the MVP candidate. Well, used to be. He better get back into it and hit some home runs. But it's going to be Ketel Marte. He's been the MVP candidate, and he's been carrying this team, I would say.
Yeah, when he was healthy, even though he only played 12 games, he put up a ridiculous amount of value in those 12 games.
Yeah, he's been... I think he's just been great, and he deserves to be on a good team.
He had the highest OPS on the team, playing good defense for the month of August in a short sample size. I think that's as good a pick as any on the board. All right, so then I am going to pick with my fourth pick? Yeah, my fourth pick. My fourth pick is going to be Adrian Del Castillo. And I'm taking Castillo not because he doesn't have a bunch of work, because Moreno made it a little bit into the season. I think Del Castillo came up on like the 7th or 8th was his first game. The 8th, I think, was his first game. He played in 17 games. He only had 60 plate appearances, but man, did he make those count. He has been absolutely mashing, and he's been playing good enough defense, not great defense back there. He's he's definitely not Moreno. He's a step down. There's no question about it. He is not as good at throwing out runners. I mean, especially he's competent, perfectly competent with framing. It seems like he's kind of in the middle of the pack. He's a below average, pop time guy, which pop time, you remember pop time?
Yeah, it's like where it's hit the time for you to like get up and get set.
It's the time from the pop when the pitch hits the glove of the catcher to the pop of when the throw from the catcher hits the glove of the fielder down at second base on a stolen base attempt.
Yeah.
And so he's got a below average pop time, but it's not horrible by any means. He's at like the 35th percentile, 40th percentile, somewhere around there. So it's okay. He's kind of middle of the pack, a little below middle. And so he's solid. His bat is why he's there, and it shows. It's amazing. All right, so who are you drafting next with your 5th pick in the draft?
This is hard. I'll go Zach Gallen.
Okay.
He's been good. He hasn't been bad. He hasn't been great.
Yeah.
But he's been good.
He's been okay. I mean, where the pitchers have starting pitching has struggled. His ERA is uglier than what his underlying performance looks like. He's just walked a lot of guys.
Yeah.
He's walking guys almost at a rate of what Justin Martinez is walking guys, except he doesn't strike out guys like that.
No, he doesn't.
And so that's been his problem. He's also kind of had some bad luck with BABIP at a 358 for the month. So that's kind of been an issue for the D-backs in general, which is really strange. They're sporting a really high BABIP against for the month as a pitching staff, relievers and starters. I'm not quite sure what goes into that. It's kind of bizarre, but man, they are just really struggling there. So I am going to draft with my 5th pick another hitter, and that is Jake McCarthy. Jake the Rake.
Snake.
He has been absolutely fantastic still. He's slowed down a little bit, but not too much. His work plus his OPS for the month of August is pretty much exactly where his OPS is for the entire season. And so he's just kind of hanging in there, staying steady, not getting too high, not getting too low. Had some big home runs this past month. Leads the team in stolen bases for the month, which is pretty cool. And leads the team in RBI for the month, which is a product of him batting second in the lineup for the most part. You get a lot of chances when you're going to be batting second. And so Jake McCarthy is interesting to watch. He's started to look more and more like he's having the worst day of baseball in his life. Every single pitch that he gets at the plate, he's so funny with his mannerisms. I feel like they're becoming more accentuated. He's becoming more eccentric in his mannerisms at the plate. It's fun to It's funny to watch. So go ahead. Who is your 6th pick in the best players in August draft?
I'm going to get the wrestler, the WWE superstar, the pitcher, relief pitcher, Kevin Ginkel.
Yeah, good pick. He was actually next on my list. I like that one a lot. So Ginkel has been extraordinary.
Yeah, he has been super
good. He's been getting brought into a lot, at least this is my perception. He seems to be getting brought into a lot of situations with runners on, and he is just constantly bailing the team out. He and Puck. Him and Puck in the 7th and 8th innings just make a ridiculously potent combination. And then you bring in Martinez in the 9th, and I mean, if you can have the lead, and if those guys are rested and you have the lead going into the 7th inning, it's going to be really, really hard to lose baseball games with those guys. on the roster. So that part's awesome. I love Gink. Plus, like you said, he found his WWE belt, Gene. He's bringing it to the yard with him every day. And he's slamming batters straight into the ground.
Not literally, but
No, but it's so much fun. Ginkle is the best. Ginkle is the most, I mean, AJ Puck looks like we were talking about. He looks like a really tall Amish dude out on the mound. And Ginkle looks like a WWE wrestler. I love it. They're just so opposite of each other and yet so equally devastating. So my next pick then in the draft is going to be, let's see, I got him and him and him. My final position player is going to be Domo.
yes.
I'm taking Domo. Domo has played, this one really came down to Domo and Gurriel, and I didn't want to take Gurriel away from Phoenix. And
Yeah,
so
you better not.
I'm taking Domo.
I'll leave the pot if you did that.
They have very, very their work pluses are very close. Gurriel has them in OPS by a pretty decent margin, but Domo played, even though he had kind of a terrible series, recency bias. He had a terrible defensive series against the Mets. He looked really rough out in the field, but I think part of that comes along with him now batting leadoff. I just don't think that's a good move for him, and it may be impacted his defense as well. And so I hope that they move him out of that first place. Let him just focus on defense and being a catalyst, not focusing on getting on base and trying to be a run producer. And yeah, I like Domo. He's good, and he was second on the team in stolen bases for the month.
Okay.
That part's fun too.
Well, I'm going to take my third position player, and that's going to be Eugenio Suarez. He has been, ever since the second half, he has been absolutely amazing. He slowed down a little bit, just like Jake McCarthy. But he still has like 6 home runs, and he's just been great.
Yeah,
So
5 home runs.
Same thing.
He is tied for second on the team in RBI. His moment, he is, even though his OPS had dropped quite a bit, he's still an above average hitter in August, but even though his OPS dropped, his timing, his clutchness, if you will, has been absolutely fantastic in the month of August, and really pretty much the last 2.5 months. He has come up with hits at really important times for this team.
Yeah.
So very cool. Well, I'm going to get back on the pitchers since I got all 4 of my batters now, and I need both a relief pitcher and a starting pitcher. So I'm going to cross Mantiply off the list and take Joe Mantiply for my second reliever. Mantiply is I feel like he's very underappreciated in D-backs land. Fans just kind of really, I don't know. I don't quite understand it. He's got a really great FIP on the season. He's got a really great xFIP a really good xFIP on the season. His ERA is okay. He seems like when he gets taken out of the game, a lot of his inherited runners that other relief pitchers are taking on that he let get on base in the first place are scoring. But he's not letting a lot of inherited runners score per se. And so he's been really good, really solid, really high ground ball rate. He is one of the only pitchers on the entire roster that had a below league average BABIP for the month of August. So just a lot of ground balls, and I'm loving that.
Okay. Well, for my 4th pick, I think this was pretty obvious. I'm going to take Josh Bell. I'm just kidding. I'm going to take the hair, the guy, the
Pina?
the
La Pina?
he's Dominican, right?
No, he's Cuban.
He's the Cuban man.
The Cuban Crusher.
The Cuban
Go
Cuban
with the
Crusher.
Yeah, the alliteration. It's good.
The Cuban Crusher. Lourdes Gurriel Jr.
I love it. Lourdes is, I love Lourdes' swing. He looks like he's in such control of his body with his swing path every time. It's so repeatable.
Not biased. Okay, it's kind of biased.
Yeah, but he looks very adaptable, and he doesn't strike out much, which is probably part of it. And his walks were up. For the month of August, he had a really, really great walk rate, and he actually almost his walk rate was 11.5%, and his strikeout rate was 14.6, which is really, really good. Really good. And his BABIP wasn't that high, which is great. He just had a really, really solid month. So, yeah. All right, my final pick for the month August 2024 draft for the Arizona Diamondbacks is Eduardo Rodriguez to fill out our starting rotation. And that is, it pretty much came down to, obviously, I could include Montgomery in this still because he was a starter for most of the month, as well as Merrill Kelly or Eduardo Rodriguez. And between those three guys, Eduardo Rodriguez has been much better than Merrill Kelly or Jordan Montgomery.
He was also on my list, but
yeah, he's been so much better than either of those two guys. So I hope he keeps it up. Be great to see him strike more guys out, but Rodriguez has never really been much of a strikeout guy. He's more of a limit walks and home runs kind of guy as a pitcher, which is a lot of D-backs pitchers. And he's done a decent job at that. Not great, but perfectly solid, perfectly fourth starter level pitching, which is, with Fott, Gallen, and Nelson at the top of that rotation. Eduardo just being a fourth starter is perfectly reasonable. And as long as he's taking the ball every fifth day and helping bail out this bullpen, not overworking them with solid 5 and sometimes 6 inning starts, we'll take it.
All right.
That's our draft of our best player. So so again,
I love yours actually. My draft is good, but yours is nice.
Your starting pitchers are Brandon Fott and Zach Gallen.
Yep.
Your bullpen is Supermart and Ginkle.
Of course.
Your hitters are Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, Lourdes Gurriel, and Eugenio Suarez.
Actually, can you put that in a different order? Lourdes Gurriel, Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, and Eugenio Suarez.
Okay. And then my starting pitchers are Ryan Nelson and Erod. And then my relief pitchers are AJ Puck and Joe Manaply. And then my hitters are Del Castillo, Jock, Jake, and Jerry.
Jerry. God dang it, Jerry.
Jock, Jake, and Jerry.
So, oh wow. That is a lot of J's.
It's a lot of J's. Yeah, they're not all J's, but...
I think mine is better than yours.
Yeah, we're going to throw these up on Twitter and see what everybody thinks of our drafts. And tell us what you thought of the episode in general. We'd love to hear it. If you like this format of recapping a month by drafting our favorite performances from the team. And with that, Phoenix, what are you most looking forward to in the upcoming week or month of the season as we come down the stretch for the last, I don't know, how many games do we have left? 25?
No, I don't know.
I think 25 or 26 games.
I am really excited for playoffs. That is what I'm super excited for.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting. We were talking about this earlier, how I was actually talking with my parents about this, how the D-backs are in this weird spot now because they kind of had to win the series against the Dodgers. I'm not saying that they can't still win the division, but it's going to be almost impossible without having won the series versus the Dodgers this weekend. And now they're they're going to be at best 4 games behind the Dodgers, just like they were when they started this series. If they win Monday's game, today's game, when you're listening to this, and then after that, even if they lose it, they have a better chance. It's kind of, they're in this weird spot that it's almost impossible that they're going to win the division, like I said, but they have a better odds of winning the division than they do of not making the playoffs. And so
That's good.
And so it's this really weird spot of, it's almost like, even though there's 25 games left, the games almost don't matter going forward. They could pretty much play 500 baseball, even worse than 500 baseball, and probably make the playoffs still. They could play 700 baseball and not win the division still. It's just really hard. They're just in such a strange spot that the games almost don't matter for the next 4 weeks of baseball. Obviously they do to an extent, but they are sort of in an enviable position of, because it doesn't matter, they can just work on keeping guys healthy and getting their rotation set up the way that they want it, so that they can time it out so that Zach Allen's pitching game 1. I would say Ryan Nelson pitch game 2, and then Brandon Pfaadt pitch game 3. And they can try to get their rotation set up so that's the way that it goes when they play that first wild card round. I would still say that's the one thing that they can still play for, is if they can hold on to the first wild card spot, they get a home playoff series for that wild card round instead of having to go to San Diego, Atlanta, or New York. And so that has some value to it. So I shouldn't say that it doesn't matter at all, but it mostly matters to us fans, because having home games versus away games doesn't make that much of a difference in baseball. But it's a lot more fun for us getting to go to those wild card games if they're taking place here in Arizona. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully they win out. Hopefully they get it. And with that, please like, comment, subscribe, rate, review. Channel your inner kindergartner. He's shaking his head around and his
share.
eyeballs, and share. Sorry, I was trying to narrate for you so that people who are listening only know what's going on.
And also, comment your draft and whose draft was better. I know you're gonna say mine, but because his was bad. It was really bad. And I got the 2 best duo.
Yeah,
I got the best duo. I got Corbin.
You got Corbin Carroll. That's a big one.
I got Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte.
Yeah.
And then Lourdes.
All right. So, with that,
take it away, Limerick.
Yearning! Under!